guys, Alexandra here. Oh, I'm gonna show myself. Here I am. And I'm gonna watch another galaxy exist, maybe? I don't know.
Start by imagining a tropical lagoon. To the fish that live here, this watery world is all there is. This lagoon is their entire universe. They have no idea there's anything beyond. Well, they are fish. And that theirs is actually just one of a huge number of bodies of water on Earth's surface. Some like theirs, and some very different. So now that you are a fish, what if you got a clue that this world of ours is just a tiny lagoon in something much bigger? Could your fish brain handle that? We humans always assumed our universe is one of a kind, unique. Even the word universe reflects this. We think that one and only universe came into existence nearly 14 billion years ago with what's called the Big Bang. In the 1980s, a group of young physicists, including Andre Linde, Paul Steinhardt, Andreas Albrecht, and Alan Guth, came up with an enhanced version of the Big Bang theory. They proposed that in the first instant after the Big Bang, the universe underwent a burst of incredibly rapid expansion called inflation. And satellite measurements of the heat left over from the Big Bang now support the idea. But surprisingly, the theory of inflation also suggested something very odd. According to inflation, the Big Bang that created our universe may not have been a one-time event. Instead, it could have happened again, and again, and again, an infinite number of times. And just as our Big Bang created our universe, each of those Big Bangs would have created other universes. A process that would continue eternally. So Guth...
I want to go in another universe. Maybe in some universe it's gonna have magic in the universes.
Linde and others concluded that instead of a universe, we might be living in a multiverse. The math shows, it's always the math, right, that the multiverse would contain a huge variety of universes, ranging from some that are nothing like ours to others with duplicates of Earth and each and every one of us. In fact, the existence of so many other universes would mean everything that can happen will happen in one universe or another. It's an intriguing, out-of-the-pond idea, but also controversial, igniting a fierce debate in the scientific community. Several scientists, including some who helped create the theory of inflation, have come up with counter-arguments to the multiverse. A theory that predicts everything predicts nothing, one wrote. And critics object that considering the multiverse is more akin to philosophy than science. So who is right about the multiverse? We all know how our fishtail would turn out if those fish could find a way to see beyond their lagoon. They would discover that their universe is not unique, and that Earth's surface is covered with lagoons, ponds, lakes, seas, and oceans teeming with all kinds of...
The planet is boring. Maybe other universes is gonna be so fun. More fun than the Earth. And it doesn't have magic or superpowers. So we couldn't had it.
Creatures. This discovery would forever change their picture of reality. But what about us? What would it mean to find we're part of a much larger multiverse? How seriously should we take this idea? And what if I just zapped out of this 2D multiverse and appeared before you, right now? Welcome to the World Science Festival Multiverse Big Idea, or Brian tried to kind of warn us didn't he, that this could get pretty heated? So maybe I should just completely change my introduction and think maybe just to get us all ready. Welcome to 2013 WrestleMania Cosmology. Are you ready to rumble? Something like that. I mean, that is why you bought tickets, right? But seriously, is the multiverse idea something that's implied by deficiencies in existing cosmological theories? Or is it something some scientists need to help them explain certain unresolvable problems in existing theory?
I can't.
Basically, we are dumped down here in the middle of the
Nur klicken, stempeln und rein. So einfach kann besser doch sein. Nutze die Talente der WC. Enter! If you were to look at Earth from the International Space Station at night, you'd be able to see the lights of the cities from space. That's how big our impact as a species is. There are huge multicultural cities all around the world. We built buildings so high they nearly disappear out of sight. Cities built from the ground up for thousands and thousands of people to live in. But, oh, what's this? What a beautiful monkey. What are you doing there, buddy? You want that banana? Yeah, it looks delicious. Be careful now. Don't fall down that tree. Oops. Boy, nature can be so brutal sometimes. I'll bet it didn't wake up thinking it was going to become a lion's breakfast. What? No humans? Where did they all go? Looks like when that monkey fell from the tree, it created a chain of events that led to no humans ever existing on Earth. I know what this is. We must be in an alternate universe. Well, let's skip a few thousand years ahead. What does Earth look like? Humans have altered about 50% or more of the planet's surface. So there aren't going to be any cities or landscape previously shaped by us in this reality. There's not going to be a human touch at all. The Earth now seems to be an animal paradise. They're everywhere. These animals that were previously only found in Africa are now all over different continents. There are lions roaming free in America. Oh, and look, in Europe, there are rhinos, elephants, wolves. Wow, moose. Even bears are here. Since there are no humans taking up most of Earth's space, mammals are now free to be everywhere. Well, you know, different mammals than us. There's a huge diversity of them, too. Earth has become what seems to be an expansion of the Africa we know today in terms of animal species. You can see large mammals, too. Giant sloths, saber-tooths, and even mastodons are now walking the Earth like in the olden times. The reason why our Earth isn't like this is that humans take up a lot of the available space with their structures. For example, the reason why there's so much animal diversity in Africa in our universe isn't that the continent is just suited for animals to thrive. It's mostly because we haven't been too active in a big part of the continent. Our ancestors had a lot to do with the extinction of large mammals. Ice Age wasn't the only culprit there. On our Earth, humans are the intelligent life form. How about on this planet? As you might know, natural selection is what guides evolution. This, combined with random mutations we can observe in some species, suggests that even without humans on Earth, there's a chance for intelligent life to develop. So, primates are now the dominant life form, or maybe the meerkats evolved into a dominant species. The climate on this Earth is also cooler than ours. That's because there are no greenhouse gases. According to NASA, the current Earth warming trend is likely the result of human activity since the 1950s. This means the increased levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are the reason why our planet warms up. Greenhouse gases are called like this because, just like a greenhouse, they trap the heat. They let sunlight pass through the atmosphere, but the heat it brings doesn't leave our atmosphere because of them. They're a good thing because otherwise life on Earth wouldn't even be possible. But because now they're too abundant, it causes the planet to warm more than it should. Now, let's go back to our alternate Earth. In the water, the Great Barrier Reef in Australia is still fully intact. And it's still the largest coral reef system there is, as well as the biggest living organism on the planet, just like ours. This new Earth is also full of trees, and lush ones at that. Greenery everywhere. All sorts of trees exist and are home to all the different animals on the planet. And since there's no deforestation, the planet's lungs, the Amazon rainforest, is able to thrive and is looking more alive and vibrant than ever. But say, what if humans were to show up on this Earth right now? Maybe this year, or the year before? They certainly wouldn't be the dominant species immediately, and would probably struggle at the very beginning. The evolution and learning process would be a slow one until they find themselves at the top. They have to adapt to their new home. This would be like traveling to around 130,000 years ago in our reality, to a place where modern humans, or Homo sapiens, had just shown up. Humans back then weren't new. The only new thing about them was that they evolved into Homo sapiens. It wasn't like we were dropped off from a spaceship onto Earth or anything like that. But in this alternative reality, that's exactly what happened. A bunch of humans were dropped from the sky on Earth. Now, they must learn everything from the ground up. They need to figure out how to survive and thrive in their new environment. They have to hunt for their own food, and they need to take what they can from the planet, much like we did 130,000 years ago. These new humans are nomads. They can't settle in one exact place because they need to explore and understand their surroundings, just like the animals that surround them. As their groups become larger, they split into smaller ones to find new places suited to build their homes, or even a place where survival might be easier. Since it's been a while that they've arrived on this new Earth, they've done some exploring and found themselves more comfortable in their new setting. Their tools are better developed, and home-like structures, like huts, finally start appearing. 50,000 years ago, we developed our language. These humans also developed their own because they need to communicate better with each other. With language, they become more and more organized and are able to make better plans for their future. All dogs come from wolves, and there are two theories of how it might have happened that wild beasts became humans' best friends. One theory says early humans somehow ended up capturing wolf pups and kept them as pets, and over time they would gradually domesticate wolves. Another theory states that wolves actually domesticated themselves. It's called survival of the friendliest. Because both wolves and humans were hunters, wolves probably also figured out they would have benefits if they stuck around humans instead of competing directly with them. Some wolves were fearful and aggressive toward humans. Others might have been friendlier, which also likely gave them access to the hunters' food supplies. As time passes, modern human behavior starts showing up. Fixed homes begin to appear in places that benefit people, maybe next to a river or places where the soil is fertile. This way, they're also able to become farmers and develop agriculture. As they settle down, communities start arising too. Since they are very social beings, it's only natural they're drawn to one another. Soon humans are all over the planet, spread around the continents, with communities and families of their own, and don't forget the pets. The planet's landscape shifts like it did in our reality to accommodate the needs of humans. Cultures are developed, rivalry begins. They start pushing each other to great lengths. Thousands and thousands more years go by, and this human society starts to look a lot like the one we have today. Still, things might have happened a different way. There might have already been an intelligent species they would have had to compete with, and then their progress would probably have staggered a bit. Maybe a society could emerge where different intelligent life forms would be able to peacefully coexist. When you enter a coffee shop, a meerkat might be your barista. Your landlords could be a couple of gorilla siblings. Or when you go to a barber shop, a primate that's only wearing a barber jacket would be the one to cut your hair. If not, it's likely things would end up the same as our reality. Humans would not be the most numerous species on Earth, but they would certainly still be the most impactful one.
That's amazing. Bye guys. Next video again maybe. Bye.